I'll fix the audio. I'll fix the stuff later.
Okay, Twitch is on. I see that Twitch is live. YouTube's not, and I don't see anything on Facebook either.
Let me refresh. We'll have to do a lot of cutting on this.
You guys that are watching us on Twitch,
there we go. We're live on
by.
Facebook now.
All right, everybody. I think we're back because Baz from Australia was on. You want to restart our opening?
Let's rewind that and start again.
Little time travel. Let's just take a quick. Good evening, gents. Hey, Razor Ramon.
Hey,
what's up, baby?
That's gonna work great, man. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes. Hey everybody, welcome. We fixed it. There was a glitch in the
Hopefully everybody
system.
followed us off of the
Yes,
broken one onto the good one here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what
I
happened,
think so.
but Facebook
kicked us.
and then
That's
after
okay.
Facebook
We're
kicked
back.
us, it all kicked us.
It's
So-
IFB time, guys. Interfleet Broadcasting. I'm New York Pete. I'm with my buddy, the Tipsy Toaster. Thanks for joining us. It's our pop culture sci-fi entertainment channel. And look, full disclosure, we grew up watching 70s and 80s TV, movies, animation, cartoons, and we bring our unique spin to our little corner of the universe. And everyone needs to know we are also big Battlestar Galactica fans, but that doesn't mean that we don't embrace all sci-fi, even the stuff that's going on currently. And to help us keep up, we're going to have some special guests coming on, and so stay tuned because we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. And there's a lot of announcements. We got a lot of cool announcements going on. So, Chris, how's the ship going? How is the control room? Because you're working.
I'm scrambling, making
You're scrambling.
sure we're broadcasting everywhere that we're supposed to be broadcasting.
All right, cool. Well, I know that that Baz is on from down under. Baz, thanks for tuning. Our Razor Ramon and Brigitte, thank you for tuning as well in Austria. I know it's really late, but thank you for coming on. And everybody else that's watching, and everybody else that's going to watch us in later on in the reruns, because we get a lot. So, is the toaster live from the undisclosed secure location?
Yes.
Yes, yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, there's a lot going on, guys. So we're working it.
We're
We're
good.
working it.
We
Yeah,
are good
we're
on
working it.
YouTube.
So-
We're good on Facebook. So
And
we're up and running.
on. Yes, we are. And by the way, I want to make sure, Chris, that we thank everybody because drinks are on David Alexander, Brigitte from Austria, and Fran. So, guys, thank you so much.
Very, very
and
much. You guys are
let's
amazing.
do it. Amazing. Let's do it, right? You ready?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh, my God. When you say hang on, I get worried. I
know.
get really,
It's just
really worried.
Just a limited table space in the new spot here. So,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'm in the base star. We're in
Auxiliary.
auxiliary base star.
Yes.
The Mrs. Toaster is getting some rust removed, so I had to come by and make sure she is okay for a week. So,
Okay, cool.
what do you got tonight, Pete?
I
Probably
got-
another
I got a-
cider, right?
I guess I do. That's right. Lola got kicked off of FB. Lola, you got to come back onto YouTube then. I have, look, Red's hard apple cider. Bam, bam, bam.
So, I've gone. Go ahead. Anything? What's the
What?
alcohol percentage on that, Pete? We don't want you getting too.
Hold on. Don't get too excited here. I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as I can find it. Contains alcohol. It says it right there. And it's 5%. This is a
Oh.
5%, man.
You're actually going to have more than me tonight, believe it or not.
It's 5%. What are you drinking? Orange juice?
So, I'm going into the Wayback Machine. You ready?
Oh,
So
come
some of you
on.
people will remember this, but I
Kool-Aid.
did find it at the store. All I have to
Kool-Aid.
say is from the land of the sky blue waters.
Oh, what the heck is that? I never seen that before.
You never seen
Hams?
hams?
What?
I grew up in Wyoming, and this is one of these staples in Wyoming. You don't see this in the stores
wow.
much often anymore. So it had great commercials. It had a bear on the commercials. If you ever get a chance, go search YouTube for hams commercials if you want that. Reminds me of my dad's drinking Lowenbrau and hams.
And Pabst Blue Ribbon.
A PBR is still out there. It's not that bad.
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
this
I
is
like
it's not
Classic.
really popular because I got a 6-pack of hams for $4.99.
Well, I got to tell you, mine's from Milwaukee.
Yep, mine's from Milwaukee. That's where it's from.
Okay, cool.
It is a 4.7% alcohol content.
Got you beat, man. Got you beat
so
completely.
Tonight you're going to be more drunk than I am.
Yes, I am. But before that happens, Scott says I'd settle for a cold can of cheer wine.
Oh yeah, Chocolate Soldier, Jolt.
Chris Laskowski from Down Under says Base Star Basement. Yes. George G in the house. Big Jim in Toledo here, and only the ship of lights can peel me away. Excellent. All right, Lola's back, of course. Lola says Milwaukee
Her
beer.
name
Yeah.
was Lola.
All right, so let's do it, man.
was a
Come on. Ready?
soldier.
1, 2,
Ready?
3. Yeah. Oh, excellent.
It even
All right.
smells
Warren,
like my teen years.
excellent.
Ready?
I love inexpensive beer, man. I'm not an IPA person. Give me a good inexpensive beer and I am happy. There's my cider. All right.
Whew.
So,
This is definitely cheap beer.
I like my inexpensive beer. I would love to have one of those.
Can't beat
All right,
$4.99 a 6-pack.
No, man, that's good stuff.
It's refreshing. It's almost like water.
Just like John Repper would say, goes down cool as a mountain stream on Ice Planet Zero.
I don't think it would move into my.
Either way,
Yeah.
let's toast to all the fans, right,
Yes.
Chris?
Thank you so
And
much for being here.
That's right. And the guests, we have guests.
Yep.
So thanks to everybody for tuning in. Chris coined the phrase, and let it rip.
We believe that fans are the most important part of any fandom. So we always say that fans fuel the fleet. So here's to you. Fans fuel the fleet.
There you go, guys. Excellent. Cheers. Oh, and welcome home, Toaster. That's correct. So, guys, let's see. We got a couple of announcements. Unfortunately, Tiny Bean Tara is not going to be with us, and she's very, very sorry that she's missing out tonight. She's not feeling well. She went to Florida. She came back, and it might be her allergies, but she says, tell everyone to watch Outer Range on Prime, and remind them that Tuesday, 4/26 is Alien Day.
Yes.
LV 426. So she says that she may have picked up some kind of interstellar bug from Mos Eisley, where she was performing Shakespeare in the original Klingon. But to rest assured, she will be back in the green room as soon as possible. In the meantime, she says, hang in there, have a great one, and cheers to everybody. So, Tiny Bean, you get better and get back to us as soon as you can. Looking forward to having you in the studio with us. And we have another quick announcement, and that is that we have a new team member. So I think we should bring that up right here, right up front, and just welcome George Zuvalos. He's a SAG-AFTRA actor, writer, producer, award-winning filmmaker, and theater director. He is now a creative producer for IFB. Welcome, George. And if you guys remember, George was also interviewed while on set shooting a TV show. I think it was a TV pilot he was working on. And he took some time out and he came on and we interviewed him a while back. So George is now our creative producer. So welcome, Mr. Zuvalos. We're glad to have you on board as one of our teammates. So we have a lot of great things planned. So you'll see George will be stopping in, I guess periodically, and you'll see we got a whole bunch of other things going on. And that's not the only thing. We wanted to bring up a couple of others. However, we're going to be doing comic book tonight. We're going to be doing Armageddon, of course, later on. But before we do that, we want to mention that we also have another team member that is waiting in the wings, and it's none other than Mr. Chris Feehan. He's the commanding officer of the 501st Legion's Empire City Garrison, the ECG, which I was an active member with for over 5 years, way back in the day, and now Chris has been doing this for a while. And so Mr. Chris Feehan is going to be doing the Star Wars commentator. He's going to be a Star Wars commentator, and he's going to be bringing us up to speed with the world of Star Wars and what's going on. And they also do a lot of charity work as well. He's been doing this for a while, and we're really, really lucky that he's also a big sci-fi fan, also Battlestar Galactica. And he's going to come on separately to talk about some of the other things. We've interviewed him at conventions in the past, and we are really, really lucky and honored to have him with us. And he's going to be coming on also periodically to give us the Star Wars updates from the subject matter expert that he is. So, Chris, I'm glad that the two Chris's are here, right? We can never have enough Chris's, guys. So, what's another Chris? It's double. Double the Chris's is better. So, Chris, the Tipsy Toaster, is not the same as Chris Feehan. So Chris Feehan is in the wings, and Tipsy Toaster, when you're ready, and we are right. Are we ready? Yeah, let's bring him on, man. Come on.
All right, give me a second. All right.
Hey, what's up?
Peter.
How's it going?
Hey.
Very good. How you doing?
Cool, man. Thanks for coming on.
Better now that
Appreciate
everything's working.
Yeah, it's a relief.
It sure is.
I'm going to need a couple more of these beers tonight, evidently.
You're going to need more than that. John Van Gostein says, all right to George. Welcome new team members from Brigitte, who is in Austria watching live with us. Paul Roeder, Chris Cross, of course. Chris, bring us up to speed. There's so many things to keep up with. It's almost impossible in the Star Wars world. Lay it on, man.
Well, first off, just so you know, today is actually Stormtrooper Day because it's 4/21. In Star Wars, the first and only Stormtrooper in the original trilogy to be named was TK421, Why Aren't You At Your Post? And as you may know from being in the 501st, everybody in the 501st has a TK number, and that's all inspired from that one line in the original New Hope. Everybody, happy Stormtrooper Day, and let's get started with some of the big news in the world of Star Wars. The first big thing that you might not be aware of is that Star Wars Celebration Anaheim is coming up Memorial Day weekend. That is the first time they've had a celebration in over 4 years. This was the one that was rescheduled from 2020 due to COVID. And people have been waiting now 4 years to get to experience a new Star Wars celebration. Tons of Star Wars guests. We're hoping there's going to be a number of announcements regarding a lot of the new shows they have in development. Just recently, you might have heard that Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming out, the Obi-Wan series. That's scheduled to come out on the 27th of May. And people are getting very excited now that we know for a fact that Hayden Christensen's going to be involved as Darth Vader. That they're even bringing back Joel Edgerton, who played Ben Skywalker in the original prequels. So they're going to really try to tie him into the movies as much as possible, and everybody's very excited after seeing the trailer for Obi-Wan that just debuted about 2 weeks ago. Some people were critical of the Inquisitor that was shown in there, but I'm more of a wait-and-see kind of person. I want to see how they're going to actually be in the show and if they're going to be similar to what we saw in some of the cartoons. I'm hoping that they can bring them to life in a more cinematic way. Besides that series, they have a ton of new series coming out over the next 2 years. We know for a fact that Cassian Andor, the Andor series, is coming out later this year. We're hoping for an announcement either on May 4th or during that Memorial Day weekend, exactly when that's going to debut. But the general consensus is the Andor series, which follows Cassian Andor from the Rogue One movie, will probably debut sometime in the early fall, as not to step on the toes of The Mandalorian Season 3, which is expected to drop sometime in probably December of this year. After that on the horizon, there's a slew of new shows coming out, including The Acolyte, which is supposed to start filming in early fall, which is going to take place during the Old Republic time period. A Lando series with Donald Glover that's in pre-production. That looks very exciting. And the Ahsoka series. Ahsoka was introduced in the Mandalorian series, and people are chomping at the bit to see more Clone Wars type stuff going on and more stuff from the Clone Wars cartoons that might pop up in the new Ahsoka series. There's also going to be a second season of the animated series, The Bad Batch. So people are very excited for that. That was a very well received show. People really went nuts over that, and it's set to come back with the second season. Probably not this year, probably early next year. But again, we're all waiting to see what the announcements are going to be, both on May the 4th and probably Memorial Day weekend, and I think we'll have a much better picture. One other thing that was a surprise announcement that just came out 2 days ago was that there is going to be a gallery episode of the Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett series. That's a very popular behind-the-scenes show. They had done 2 of them for The Mandalorian. They now are releasing on May the 4th a Disney Gallery Book of Boba Fett episode, specifically to celebrate the May the 4th Star Wars holiday. If you're not already aware, the other Star Wars holiday during the year is May the 4th, because May the 4th be with you. And in recent years, Disney and Lucasfilm have really focused on that day as being a day when they release a lot of information. They release some special stuff on Disney+. So I'm sure we're going to hear some more news about some upcoming projects around that time, if not big announcements at Celebration.
Wow. So that's the reason. See, this is why we have to have you on, because it's almost too much for any one of us to try to keep up with this. And Chris, this is awesome, and we're all looking forward to it. I mean, it's
a very exciting time for Star Wars fans. I mean, for most of us who've waited years and years in between movies, to look forward to every 3 or 4 months something new coming out for Star Wars.
I know.
Is just, it's a boyhood dream. So we're very excited about all the new material coming out. We have to hope that it's good. So far, everything that's come out has been very good. I know some people were critical of the Boba Fett series, how it started out a little slow.
I liked it.
But then it really, I think it came into its own and became a real true spin-off of The Mandalorian, including The Mandalorian in like the last half of the season.
Yeah.
And one episode that didn't have Boba Fett in it at all, that was all with Luke and Baby Yoda, Grogu. Yep. So that that episode. I don't know if you guys, of course, Star Wars fans as well.
Yeah. I
was actually very moved by that episode with Yoda, Baby Yoda, and the Mark Hamill computer effect. I thought that was a much better done effect than they had done at the end of Mandalorian. And people were just over the moon of how realistic it looked. And to see him almost brought back to life at that time period from Return of the Jedi, it was actually incredible.
Oh, it
was
amazing.
It was really good.
Things
a lot of fun stuff
with AI is just, the artificial intelligence and the tracking, and I mean, crap, you can almost do that on your iPhone nowadays.
Well, we've also been very busy. I'm the commanding officer of the 501st Legion's Empire City Garrison. I've been doing this for about 14 years. The the 501st Legion is actually celebrating this year its 25th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And the past 2 years, and we discussed this before, Peter, in one of our previous interviews, have been really tough because what we do is use our costumes for good in the community. And really, for the past 2 years, we've been stifled somewhat. Last year was kind of a turning point. We started going out a lot more. We started doing libraries. We started getting away from doing virtual events and doing more in-person events. And this year, it's going gangbusters. Around May the 4th, we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 events, including an appearance at Vera Bradley at Walt Whitman Mall on Long Island to celebrate the release of some of their Star Wars line that's coming out. That was a specific Lucasfilm request for us to cover that store location. We have a number of other libraries that we're doing, including Babylon Library at that day. And that following weekend, the 7th of May, is also Free Comic Book Day. So we're going to be at just about every comic book store on Long Island, including Grasshopper Comics, Rocky's Comics, Third World Comics, and a few libraries that day. So we're trying to divide and conquer and try to cover as many of those events as we can. But that period, that first week in May, is usually crazy for us. There's just one thing after another. And to make matters even worse, on Friday the 6th of May, we're going to be on the Yankee game. We got invited back to the Yankees for the first time in 2 years. We're very excited about that. So look for us on May the 6th on Star Wars night for the Yankee game. We'll be walking around the field. We'll be in the audience, walking around with the crowd, taking photos. We may even make it on TV a couple of times as they pan around the different things going on Star Wars night. So it'll be a very fun thing for our garrison to finally get back out there and do some of these fun promotional events. We're still hoping that later this year we'll get back to doing some of our hospital visits. Right now, still due to some COVID restrictions, those are off the table, and we completely understand for the extra safety for anybody who might have a compromised immune system. So we're hoping maybe next year that'll come back. We have done some virtual things with some hospitals. We actually had pre-filmed a Star Wars trivia segment, about a little 20-minute segment with a bunch of our folks in costume doing different Star Wars trivia that's going to be used at St. Mary's Hospital in New York City. So that was a very rewarding thing to be able to do that and have them show that on May the 4th for the kids. We also are doing a bunch of conventions over the summer. We're going to be doing CradleCon at the Cradle of Aviation on the weekend of May 14th. We're hoping to return to New York Comic Con this year. We had a great showing last year, and that was the first time we had been at Comic Con in 2 years. And people were starting to come back out again for Comic-Con. And we have a few smaller conventions over the summer, including the Malvern Comic Fest in June. And we have a special event July 16th that we're putting on a small con at Levittown Hall with Dominic Pace. He's an actor who starred in The Mandalorian as Gecko the Bounty Hunter. He's actually going to come to this event at Levittown Hall to sign autographs. We're going to have Blast the Trooper. We're going to have the Saber Guild there doing a lightsaber demonstration, all to raise money for the Cerebral Palsy Association. That's July 16th at Levittown Hall, and that's one of the first events that we're doing, partnering with a charity and trying to put it on for them to raise money directly for them. So that's going to be an exciting trial to see if we can swing that and get that going. So please check that out over the summer. And check out our website on 501ecg.com. If you have an event, a community event or charity event that you'd like us to support, please put in a request, and we'll see if we have enough volunteers to cover it for you.
Outstanding, Chris. That's exactly what we wanted to plug in to, right? All of the events, having you bring it all to us, and especially all the charity stuff that you do. We really, that's what IFB represents. It's, not only the fandom is not just focused on watching and following the movies and the shows, but we're also involved in the community. So that's one of the other reasons that, I was keen on getting you on. So thanks for sharing and doing all that stuff. We had started doing a little bit of that back in the day, but you've taken it to a new level. So thank you for doing that. A couple of quick comments.
I want to mention that our troopers last year did over 90 in-person troops, and this year we're on track to do over 100. So,
wow!
Congratulations to all our members. They volunteer so much of their time to good causes and different charity events, and they do a real bang-up job.
Oh, outstanding! Oh, yeah. Thank you for all of that, Chris. So Mediocre Modeler, he has his own Facebook and YouTube, and he's a big Star Wars fan. He actually did a mashup, Chris, between a Mandalorian and a Colonial Warrior, and he put them together, and it's unique, and he's very talented. He says they were over the moon, but that's no moon on your previous comment, so that was funny. Mediocre Model thanks for joining us. Really appreciate support. John Van Gostein is one of ours. He's one of our team members. He's a news anchor. He's on with us live. He says need to do a series on Star Wars Aftermath. Hey, the more the merrier. Now's the time. And, everybody's just sending their love over your way, Chris, as a Star Wars rep. So thank you very much. We're looking forward to the next update. And hopefully all the cons will come through. And, especially New York Comic Con will be there, of course. And just looking forward to the next time.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for having me, Peter.
Absolutely, Chris. Thanks. Hey, Tipsy,
Yeah.
Any passing comments?
No, I just wanted to, this is their website. So if you get a chance to, or you want to join the Empire City Garrison, there's the website for them. They have a YouTube, or Facebook, site as well. And then, of course, their event calendar that Chris was talking about earlier.
Which unfortunately is broken at the moment. We're trying to fix it. Which is why I'm trying to spit out all the big things we have coming out. We'll hopefully get that fixed in the next week or so.
So that's, if you want to check them out, that's where they're at. Also, go out and support them. I mean, that's they're spending their time to do awesome work in the community. You can go out and support them and just say thanks. I think that's a great thing. Once
Chris,
again, fans fuel the fleet.
That's right. Here's
really
to you
big
guys.
fans.
And thanks for coming on the show, Chris. We're looking forward to having you again on our next go around. So we want to make this a regular.
There'll be more information. I'm sure after May the 4th and Memorial Day weekend, we're going to have a slew of new information and probably a bunch of surprises, things we didn't even know were coming.
Absolutely. Great stuff, Chris. Again, thank you so much for being here and representing the 501 in Star Wars. So here's to the 501, here's to you, Chris, and to everybody else that's watching, all right? So here's to Star Wars.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Imagine that. Oh, man. That's fantastic. Chris Feehan from the 501. Thank you so much for joining us and joining the team here. And, so we're going to be getting updates. I just want to actually shout out to Chris Marshall and Fran Severn, John One, our news anchor, of course, and Paul Roeder, Commander Kane, right? One of the founders of the Colonial Warriors on Facebook and a lot of other groups. I mean, he's a moderator and administrator in a lot of others, and I know he's been involved in founding some of the others, and he's all the way out on the West Coast. And thanks for joining us, Paul. Really appreciate it. Hopefully one of these days we'll get together. And Mediocre Modeler and, yes, Battlestar Metallica. That's right. Tony's with us as well. Thanks, Tony, for joining us. Greetings, everyone, from Paul. Guys, thank you so much. And thank everybody, thank you to everybody that watches us afterwards and in the thousands. We really appreciate your support, and thank you for tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or even Twitch. Thank you. Really, appreciate you watching. Keep sending us your emails and your comments. We like getting that as well. And as far as announcements, I also want to, this is a perfect time to bring up this, since we were talking about Star Wars. I just received this challenge coin, and it's from the Hellenic 501st Outpost. So this is number 50 of 51 that were created, and a good friend of mine who is now in the 501 representing in Greece, my friend, another Chris Orfanakos. Chris, thank you very, very much for
anybody who's named Chris is Cylon, evidently.
Or yes, or part of the Empire. But so hey, Chris, thank you so much for sending me one of these. Chris and I we went to Greek school together, so we kind of grew up together. Big Star Wars fan. One of his dreams was to get into the 501. He finally did, and he did it when he moved back to Greece, or moved to Greece. And this is very cool.
Theirs is.
Much appreciated. You know what? Since you asked that, Chris, we can have the other Chris on.
Yeah,
he says that he is willing to stay up because obviously there's an 8-hour difference. Chris Orfanakos is going to stay up one of these days. I'm going to coordinate with him. He may or may not be able to get us the commander of their unit, but if he can't, he's going to come on himself. And he'll give us an update, let us know all about what goes on in the Greek outpost. So, yeah. Thanks, Chris. Really appreciate it, man. It's good getting in touch with you and hope to see you on the show soon. So that was a kind of an update. And Fran is with us. Yes, Janet Jenkins with us. Hi, in New York, Pete. Hi, Janet. Yes, the Hellenic aspect of everything we do here. It's in search of. Anyway, we have another announcement that I wanted to mention, and that is that this year's panel at AwesomeCon in DC, so we're going to be joined by none other than Fran Severin herself is going to be on the panel, and as well as George Zuvalos. So the both of them will be joining the panel this time, and I'll get to play real moderator while the Tipsy Toaster does his thing, and then our two other panelists. So we're going to have a lot of fun hitting up AwesomeCon. I expect it to be, double what we saw last year. Last year was a nice size con in a great big place in DC, and I would imagine that this time it's going to be twice the size. James McCoy, sorry for a late hello from Indiana. Was watching granddaughter pitch baseball. James, thanks for joining us, man.
Family's important.
I hope. Well, there's got to be priorities, and obviously, pitching baseball and your granddaughter, that's on top. But then right below that, of course, is the IFB. So you got your priorities all straight. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Appreciate it. Brigitte says, "Hey, Fran." So yeah, we're gonna have.
Fran says I'm a cheap date here every Thursday.
We're gonna have a great time at the con, guys.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
So for all of you that are gonna be there, right, Chris? We're gonna have a great time. You know what? Let me get this out of the way right now. Let me thank another Chris Dykes and Chuck Davenport. Man, every time I see that opening, we got to watch it twice today. Yeah. Love the CGI and the effects that you guys did for us.
And they've got a little more to add to it. I just need to get back to the main base stars so I can drop it into the production. So
cool, man. Very, very cool. So stay tuned. We're going to have a Star Trek commentator. So that's also been confirmed, and we will have a date for you guys. And so now that we have a subject matter expert Star Wars commentator, Chris Feehan from the 501, we're also going to have our Star Trek subject matter expert, and Bran Stimson, who's commanding out of the USS Tiburon, Denver Starfleet Worldwide Star Trek Association, which was established in 1974. His group is the second largest, and he'll be coming on to give us all the Star Trek stuff. And I got to tell you guys, there's some screenings going on, and yours truly might be able to get a preview of the new Captain Pike show that is coming out. And if I do get in, Strange New Worlds, I'm gonna let you know, and then I'll have a really great update for you. But right now, looks like I am definitely going to be going to the preview prior to the actual, May. I think it's May 5th, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's when it debuts. But so I think I'm going to be able to get in there before, so I'll have a scoop for you. And right now, if all goes well, I'll be able to see the first 2 episodes. So we'll stay tuned for that, Tipsy. I didn't get a chance to tell you about that. So that's been in the works. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
You were talking about Tiburon, so this is the group that is going to be doing our Star Trek update. I'm going to mess those up sooner or later. I'm going to say Star Trek, Star Wars, or Star.
Yeah, because it's just
Yeah.
it's 2 stars, and that's cool. But yeah, we met Bran at the Denver Con, and he stepped up, and we're so lucky to have him as well. So he'll be coming on, and we've done an interview with him as well. So if you go into the archives, you'll see the interview we did or listen to it. And they have a great group and a great setup at the conventions, and super knowledgeable. They also do the charity stuff, just like Mr. Feehan was talking about with the 501 and the ECG, and that's great, man. And we're all for that as well. As a matter of fact, we'd been involved with supporting pancreatic cancer, and we'd supported it was a Richard Hatch memorial that we had done with the Pancreatic Cancer Association. And so, yeah, we are proponents of, the charity work. So, yeah. All right, guys. So I don't know. Let's see. What do we got going? Chris, we definitely have our comic book. We definitely have the book. And is there any other announcements? You know what? I'll tell you, I got one real quick.
Sure.
John Repper, this is going your way soon. I got some goodies for you, man. John Repper is going to work with us at IFB to get some stuff out to you guys. He is putting up some of the books from Richard Hatch. So we're going to work this out somehow, somewhere. John is kind enough to pass on his doubles and triples of.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's really
so
cool.
we're gonna share that. We're gonna figure out how we're gonna do this. But John, man, you are awesome. Thank you very much. So we have a collection of Johns and Chris's and George's. That's how we play here. That's just how it
There's
is.
twins. We got at least twins of everybody.
At least
One's
it's gotta
Cylon
be.
and one's human.
Yes, Traynar. Greetings from Earth, everyone. Well, greetings to you. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. So, Chris, we're still working on, getting the panels out, and it looks, I think, Chris, like we're definitely going to be going to Knoxville, right?
Yep, that's the big plan. Looks like
Yeah.
Knoxville. We looked at Chicago, what is it, C2E2, and it just didn't work out for us this year. Plus, we saw Knoxville, and it looks more along the lines of our audience base with Dirk Benedict's going to be there.
Yeah.
And a couple other, what was it, Little House on the Prairie? I don't remember.
Commander Adama from the Reimagined.
Yep, Reimagined.
Mr. also be there.
So it's going to be a good time. So if you have a chance, meet us at the Knoxville. I forgot the date on that. Let me look it up.
All right, so we'll get the date out before we close the show tonight. We'll get the show out, or the show. We'll get our show. We'll get the dates out for that show. So we're looking forward to this. Almost too much TV, too much going on.
August 5th to the 7th.
5th of the 7th of what?
August 5th to the 7th, 2022.
August 5th to 7th, yeah. So, hopefully we'll be able to catch up to you guys. I'm looking forward to, there it is. Yep, Knoxville Convention. So we're going to be heading
105
over
days,
to that.
15 hours, 11 minutes, and 49 seconds. 48 seconds, 47 seconds.
Okay, cool. Cool beans. Oh, wrestling. Is that Bret Hart? Oh, my God, there's a bunch of people going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be fun. All right. Yeah, they got some good celebrities going on. Very
There you
cool.
go. There's your Star Wars.
Oh, boy. Oh, my
Yes.
God.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Oh, boy. They
Sorry-
got some.
Sorry for the meowing.
And Eric Estrada's going to be there. I'm a fan because Eric Estrada did a great episode of Kolchak the Night Stalker. I'm going to go see him. Awesome.
Yeah, so actually I was in a production with Eric Estrada, or my wife was in a production with Eric Estrada, a faith-based film called Finding Faith, which is was done by JC Industries, or I can't remember the name of the company, but my wife was the lead costumer on that one. back
Oh,
in
cool.
the day. So I got to kind of meet with him and while I was on the set, so I kind of snuck on and she did all the work and I just kind of sat back and watched.
Very cool, man. Yeah. I definitely wanna meet up with him, and that'll be cool. Now, of course, Dirk will be there.
Yeah.
I've met him a few times. We'll see. Maybe we'll try to do an interview.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's tight there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get him, but we'll give it a shot, guys. And then
Melissa Gilbert
the
and
convention.
everything else,
Yeah, Chris, were you able to reach the? You gotta. They're a hard nut to crack. So,
yeah. Yep. Sorry.
Awesome Con is different. You know, Fan Expo is different. New York Comic Con, we're gonna be putting in for a panel. Okay, stop showing the cat, man. What is that
I
with the
didn't
cat?
show the cat. She's trying to step on the computer.
Okay, cats are not allowed.
We don't
How
want
can
her
you
stepping on
allow
the
these
computer.
mammals in your base star? Mammals are not allowed in the base star.
That particular alien-looking cat, she's got huge eyes, is my wife's best pal.
Okay, so there's an allowance for that, right?
That's it.
Okay.
She's kind of upset that the wife's not around right now, so
I see.
she's lonely.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yes, there's a Mash rocks. Yeah, James,
Mash.
it does. Absolutely, man.
gonna be
I remember
fun.
watching that like
Go to
crazy.
Slit.
Oh boy, that's cool stuff. Yeah. So we are going to. So we're all over the place. We got conventions going on. We got subject matter experts. We got every show under the stars. I'm looking forward to, particularly off the top of my head, the Obi-Wan on the Star Wars side, and of course Strange New Worlds on the Star Trek side. There's a lot of other TV that's going on, Chris. You started watching the Western.
Yeah, what's the name of that?
That's I've not had a
doggone
chance to still.
Hang on, let me Netflix.
Okay, yeah, you gotta pull that up because that's. I know a lot of people are watching it. I met some of the guys at work that were talking about it, and you mentioned it, and I believe Tiny Bean mentioned it. Yes, she did mention it. So, and she's watching it, and she's liking it. So I got to get on board with that. I'm not sure what.
Is it Netflix or is it Amazon? I can't remember.
Oh,
I think it's Amazon.
that's. Geez, I'm
I
trying. I'm
can't
just.
keep up. I mean, there's so many.
I'm barely keeping up. I'm barely keeping up. That's why we need to have those experts coming in and helping us out with this, including, of course, our own John One and Tiny Bean, because it's turn Muffet on her. Oh boy.
No,
Yes,
I've
he
got
has-
two Muffets.
Yeah, he's got
They're
two
useless.
Daggets, so he can. Yeah, that can work. Yeah, George. George, I think is not on set. Are you on set tonight, George? Or that's our other George, right? We got at least two Georges. This is George G. You guys know him because he's GG. He's the one that's always sending, helping post stuff on our website on our Facebook. So whenever you see the hat tip to GG, that's George. Yeah, turn Muffet on her. Yeah, you no kidding. So yeah, what else? Did you find it? Were you able to get it?
I can't remember. Can't remember if it's on
You're having
Netflix
issues,
or
man.
I keep popping up. Adam Project seems to be the most popular one.
Well, it was pretty good, man. I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah,
was
and
good.
it was really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Somebody will help me out and get me the name of it. But
Did
anyways,
any of you
it's,
guys?
Go ahead.
And did you watch Utopia? I finally finished it, man.
That's
Wow.
the
Yeah.
Russian one. No,
No. That's the Russian doll one. No, that's the other one.
that's coming up.
No. Utopia came out a while ago, and I just finally finished it. And I mean, it's one season. I believe it was supposed to be another, but it also has to do with like a virulent, a virus that goes and it's manipulated, and it was good. And there's a comic book involved and conventions involved, and it was. Yeah, it's crazy. George is on set. Well, George, thanks for tuning in and during your break, man. He takes his break and he comes and he watches with us. Yeah, well, we got stuff cooking. And Chris, what else are we focusing in on?
I'm down and determined to find that Sci-fi show.
You're like, you're on a rampage. You're going to try to find the show. All right, you will find the show.
Not Resident Alien. That was a really good show, by the way.
No, that's not it. However, let's see. There's some other things that you and I have been talking about.
We've been working on. If you want to start talking about that one.
Well, first and foremost, guys, let's put this out. The 28th of April. Everybody needs to know that James Morrison is coming on.
Yes.
And he's done a lot of work.
So that's next week.
He's next week. So James Morrison has been acting for decades, and he's done a lot of work. One of the things that we are going to, that we kind of focus on a little bit more than others is going to be Space Above and Beyond, because he plays Colonel McQueen, one of my favorite characters of that show.
I never watched Space Above and Beyond until you told me about it. And I'm like, that is amazing. For 1990s, it was an amazing show. It's like one of those shows that, like, why didn't I ever watch that one?
Yeah,
it's available on YouTube. Not that I'm saying that it's legal there, but it is available on YouTube because you can't buy it anywhere unless it's in PAL. Unless you want to buy a PAL DVD player, which I happen to have one. But you have to have a PAL, which is the European
converter. You have to get a converter.
50 frames or 50p instead of 60p.
We also have Von Babson coming on May 5th.
Right after that.
Greg Norris, author, is coming on the 12th. And on the 26th, we have artist John Villaren is coming. And we're also going to have our Star Trek update. And that's when Bran from the USS Tiburon will be on to give us an update. So by then, he's saying, "Oh my God, I'm going to have a lot to talk about." So he's, talk about Picard and of course, all the other Star Trek stuff the Strange New Worlds will be on by then, and so he'll be covering a lot of stuff, which is good.
Range? I think
Outer Range? Is that it?
Outer Range? It might be it.
Might be it. Why don't you check it?
Check that. I'll check it.
Yeah, give it a shot. So it's great. We talked about the fact, Chris, that there's plenty of sci-fi to watch and plenty of sci-fi to read. And I just finished listening to because Chris got me on to listening to stuff. So
audiobooks are amazing.
Yes, Soul Shall Rise by G.P. Hudson, and hey, that's it. So that's one of the stuff. So Chris, thanks for hanging on, Chris Feehan. No problem. We'll see you soon. We'll have you scheduled up, and you come on back and give us more Star Wars updates. And all the best to the 501 and the ECG. Right, I have a soft spot because we'll share pictures. I'll have pictures of me out there doing my thing with the guys back then. So, Chris, thank you very much. And
Pete
all
got
right,
married, and you got marriage pictures with Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of sci-fi guys, and I mean, if I could have gotten Colonial Warriors to come to my to our reception, I think that would have been really cool. But imagine if we had Cylons
group like 501st to go around and do weddings.
But the Cylons, if I could have had Cylons come to oh my God, that would have been. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any Cylons in New York. But anyway, so that's water under the bridge. However, you have a picture of it's Prime Video.
I just started watching this
Outer Range,
and it is really good. It's not real sci-fi-ish yet, a little bit, but not a whole lot. It's more of a mystery, supernatural thing. And
Chris,
then, what?
You're not a little bit pregnant. When if it's a little sci-fi, it's sci-fi.
I mean,
it's a little
not super
sci-fi.
sci-fi. Yes.
is sci-fi. It's not I'm a
Yeah.
little pregnant. You're pregnant. End the story. What are you, a little bit pregnant?
But I'm a little bit country and you're a little bit rock and roll.
Oh boy. Oh my God. What are you drinking, man? Drink another can. You need another
Another
can.
Hams.
Drink
It's
another
not enough,
can.
there's not enough alcohol in this to keep me going, evidently.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
That and I keep shooing the cat. So if you see me do this every so once in a while, it's just me trying to keep the cat from walking across the keyboard of the laptop, which would be a bad thing.
So you trained the cat very well, your alien cat. It's called Outer Range. George, you got it. Thanks, man.
Yep.
He's a little bit rusty, needs an oil boost. Yes, David Alexander, that's exactly right, man. It's sci-fi adjacent.
There, I like
Mediocre
that.
modeler.
I
There you
like
go.
Sci-fi adjacent.
I like
You
it.
have to put an R next to that mediocre. So
Yeah, no
register
kidding.
that one.
I watched Black Crab and I didn't know what the hell. I thought it was going to be, you know,
Yeah, what was that?
a
I
little
saw
bit.
it. I didn't watch it. I'm like, what is that?
It's like, you know, it's just like a war pick, but it's in a
Huh.
the alternate timeline type of thing, you know. So it's not quite sci-fi.
So it's a little
or
bit.
maybe it is.
So it's sci-fi adjacent.
Yes, it's sci-fi adjacent because it's taking place in an alternate, I guess, world. It's not, you know, it's not our world, but it looks like it's our world. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty damn good. I didn't know what the heck. It's a European. I think it's Finnish or Swedish. One of those. Apologies for you guys out there. I'm just off the top of my head. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody else saw it. Thought it was very good. That was one of the last things I binged. Watched it in 2 sessions. Waiting for Batman. I'll be doing Batman at home because, you know, breaking it up into 2 sessions. It's long, but I'm a fan, so I'm gonna definitely watch. So yeah, stop nodding, man. Come on, bro. Yes. Oh my God, you're a snob. You're a
It's got to
sci-fi.
be better than waste of time. So maybe I will.
You're a
watch that thing.
sci-fi adjacent snob. Don't be a snob, bro.
I don't
I am
think
so-
Batman sci-fi. Would you call Batman sci-fi?
Do you call him fantasy?
Call him superhero.
Superhero was never a genre. Was it a genre?
Seems to be like it is. I mean, you got all the Marvel shows.
Well,
Call all the Marvel shows fantasy.
Oh, John Van Gostein says, John 1, watching Batman now.
No, it's
And
not.
you got
should
it.
be watching us.
You're gonna have to give us a full rundown on what you think of that, because I heard a lot about it. I heard a lot about it, and I'm anxious. So I'm not sure, but anyway,
It's got
look,
sparkly guy on it, right? Yeah. Vampire
it's
sparkle guy.
somebody told me it's as if Batman were real. That's what you're watching. What if Batman were real? And that's kind of like what the movie is. So I don't know.
Batman. Couldn't come up with a better title than that.
Now you hung up on the wrong things, man. Stop being hung up on the wrong stuff.
Anyhow.
Yes. Anyhow, there's a lot of stuff going on. All good stuff. Unfortunately, we haven't heard anything else from Battlestar Galactica.
No.
So we're a little, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Hopefully
Scary.
it'll happen.
I mean, now would be
Excuse
the
me, let's
perfect
keep-
time with all the sci-fi shows, but it
all
looks
of
like
them.
they want to milk the udder. I was going to say another word there. They're going to milk the udder of Star Trek and Star Wars until it goes dry.
Well, look, bottom line is that those are separate franchises, right? Totally separate, and there's I don't know, there's a market for it, but that would mean, along with all the other sci-fi that's out there, sci-fi adjacent, fantasy, everything else, I don't see why there isn't a market for, our show, our beloved Battlestar Galactica. So fingers crossed, hopefully it'll happen, but in the meantime, there's still plenty of things out there. As a matter of fact, I wanted to bring this up. We're always, Chris and I, we have a fascination with delving into, the past and finding and discovering stories and novels, fan fiction related to Battlestar Galactica specific. And there's things out there, right? I mean, none of us have actually covered all of it, and it's always fun to try to read up and discover these stories. However, there are fans writing new material as we speak. Sean Shallow from Battlestar Bulletin Board is one of them. Professor Chris Padden is another one, and Lola, our very own Lola, also writing her own. She's been working on a story for a long time, and hopefully I've gotten to read one of her. I actually got to read her story, her novel, and it's great. And now she's thinking of polishing that up and then doing a second one. So there are authors and fans that are working on things as we speak. I know Fran came up with some ideas off the top of her head. She's not going to be able to really engage in writing because she has a commitment to her book that is I believe it's either out now. I think it just released. But once that's out, then she'll might be able to indulge a little bit. And we'll talk all about that at the convention and when we have her on again. I'm looking over to see Mediocre Modeler says, do you think if they had not done the reimagined Galactica that it would be higher on the sci-fi reboot list? I don't know, man. That's a tough question because, the franchise. But I don't know. It's
think they would already be jumping all over this thing by now.
Yeah, it just seems that they made it into like a niche thing where it shouldn't be. It did so well in the reimagined did so well. In terms of a franchise, it showed viability. The original has a very strong following, and so I'm not sure, man. I mean, they've had successful runs on comic books and things. How about an animated version?
They actually
really well done.
They did talk about that at one point in time. I remember somebody had worked on a demo reel for an animated version of Battlestar Galactica.
Right,
and face it, an animation one now is probably cheaper than a regular filmed one. So,
and that's fine. It's fine if it's done well. John One was. I mean, I was riffing off of what John One had said. He said, Gennady Tartakovsky brought back Clone Wars, maybe an animated series for BSG. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that was kind of floated. I don't know if we got to mention that when we had Eric on. Eric Larson is working the Larson Legacy and doing all kinds of other shows. Fran says, now that the horse book is out there, I can now get started on my stuff. Outstanding, and congratulations. Hey, Carl, man, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. Sorry I'm late to the party. Nah. Hey, anytime you're here, no worries, buddy. Appreciate it. MM says they were considered an animated Battlestar Galactica. Maybe that's the way to go. I think so, too. And Brigitte says, of course, Fran, yay, that's great. Carl, in the sci-fi realm, BSG is the stepchild that gets left behind. Yeah, it really does seem that way, unfortunately. Yep. So, Fran says, thank you.
There was a cartoon a while back I remember looking at. It was it had two people. It's a meme where the two people are fighting and the two people are hiding behind a rock. The two people are fighting with a Star Wars and a Star Trek.
It's Star Wars and a Star Trek are fighting.
On the rock. The hiding behind the rock was the Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, fan. It's right. Yeah, that's how I feel too sometimes.
Here's I don't know. I got to do a shout out. That might as well, right? We just
put it up.
So there is Riders of a Certain Age.
Oh wow,
so
that's
chance, cool. And
it's now out.
Into horses. That's the one to have.
Your guide for loving horses, midlife and beyond. It's kind of small, guys, but yeah, cool. And that's on Amazon. Oh, wait a second. There is who's the Fran told us that there is someone that it would be best to buy from direct, and who is that?
We'll have to go back and look at the video. I can't remember. I think
Yeah.
this is the bookstore.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
Yeah.
bookstore. That's it. So let's put that up.
I'm going to screw that up. Trafalgar? Fagger?
How about Trafalgar Square Books?
Okay.
It's a British thing. Chris, don't worry about it. It's the Queen's English, and in Wyoming, you guys didn't study that.
No,
don't worry about it.
We studied horses, but we didn't
Yes,
do that
the
English
Queen's
thing.
English wasn't at the top of the list. It's okay. You're forgiven.
You know, out of all I got A's and B's in school.
Yeah.
The only class I ever got a D in was English.
Yes, and if I ever catch you culturally misappropriating the New York accent,
Oh, no.
I'm going to report you.
Just the two of you guys on tonight made me want to talk like this all the time. It's just, I can't help it. You know?
You're gonna be. I'm telling you now, man. You're gonna be in big trouble.
I was assimilated, man.
Solomon
New York,
Grundy's gonna come and take you
assimilated.
away, man.
It's not as bad as when I drank the Brooklyn Lager. Then it was downhill after that.
Yeah, you're just butchering it. You're embarrassing yourself, and New York is not gonna stand for it.
So my wife's from Massachusetts.
Oh
So-
boy. Oof.
She
Wow.
parked the car. She's lost most of her accent.
Oh, I heard bad news that Comic Palooza did not have room for the Viper. Man, that's not cool. Not cool.
That's the one in Dallas, right? Comic Palooza?
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Comic Palooza, Houston.
Houston, yeah.
Mediocre Modeler says, hey, Fran, you could write a book about these guys called sci-fi guys of a certain age. You got jokes tonight, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, be careful, because Mediocre Modeler just said, well, I was born in Massachusetts, so
I don't hear it in
take it
his
easy.
videos. I don't hear it.
No, well, that's neither here nor there. You're trying to hide behind the cultural appropriation that you're doing with the New York accent is unacceptable, Tipsy Toaster.
Oh, you just
You are
have to
now
deal with it.
forewarned. You'll be reported to the Brooklyn Committee on Accents.
Brooklyn Accent Committee.
Oh boy, I'm thinking that I
Brooklyn
maybe taking
Accident Committee.
Oh, get this. Fran alluded to this last time. She says, I'm thinking that IFB may be taken over by Count Ibley.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Actually, Fran's book has a lot of Interfleet broadcasting into it. So,
Yeah.
Tally
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Souls. If you get a chance,
Yep.
find that one out.
It's good
there,
stuff. Good stuff. So, Chris, why don't you, you've been dying to do, and, if you bring up those crazy pictures.
Oh, those are awesome pictures.
No, all right. Well, bottom line is,
Actually, I got to set
Chris,
up
he's dying to show us. Oh, and by the way, hey, listen, Tipsy, you better not be using the same comic book again. You can't keep, using the same comic book again and again. You got to make sure you give us a different comic book.
This one we didn't do it last week because I couldn't get it to work. This week,
Okay,
I'm on the
but-
same broadcast network, so we're good. So
Okay, but are you?
What?
Yeah,
This
but are
is
you
number
going to
2.
show us? You're going to keep doing the same comic book again and again?
We haven't done this one yet.
All right, I'm just, oh boy.
This is Apollo's Journey.
Yeah,
Number
but
2.
it's not the first one again.
No, it's number 2.
Okay, you can do number 2, right?
Right,
Okay.
2.
Because I thought you were showing me like pictures from number 1 again.
No, I showed you those pictures 2 weeks ago because I thought we were going to be able to do number 2, but it didn't work. So
Okay.
let me fire up the phone.
Fire up the phone
So
and
this
get
is
it going.
unique, and let me make sure I'm not double echoing here. So turn that off.
Okay.
Alright, and then we'll go over here,
Okay.
and we'll scroll down.
Okay. Scroll it.
And
Go ahead.
Scrolling.
Go ahead.
Videos. Where's it
Yeah,
at?
yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Scenes from a hat.
Oh my God, dude, are you gonna have to? You're gonna have to narrate like every single thing you say.
Yeah, well, I got to keep people entertained on what we're doing here. There we go.
You should be. All right, you got it. Ooh,
There we go.
interesting.
So,
Okay.
before we start,
Yeah.
I like tech stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm actually using a program called NDI
Okay.
on my cell phone here, and it transmits into the broadcast studio, which is right there. Those are all the buttons and things that I get to do in the broadcast, and there's the other screen. So this is all the fun stuff,
Yeah.
and there's the evil cat.
Now, we're not seeing any of that, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You ready? I'm sorry, I forgot. There we go. Now I can say this is all the buttons and cool stuff that I get to deal with. And then this is the NDI.
Oh, that was like an infinity picture, an image
isn't it?
that's like
Ready?
one inside the other on into infinity.
Yeah. So this is the background of what Tipsy does every week, and Pete just sits and talks. Lucky him.
Yeah, I just run at the mouth. Thanks.
And then I have the evil cat, which has finally calmed down, all over there.
Oh, boy. Oh, don't call her over. What's the matter with you?
Look at those eyes. She is an alien. We call her Alien Baby.
Yeah.
So to this week, we are going to cover Battlestar Galactica's Apollo's Journey, number 2. And we'll get a nice close-up view of this while I'm holding on. Hopefully I don't make you too seasick, because I'm doing this by hand. So on a card table, that's all I got. I don't have a whole lot of room here. So if you haven't remembered, we've covered a number of different ones. So this is following the apparent death of his friend Starbuck. So in the last series, the super undercover Cylon, Ares, was stuck in an airlock escape pod with Starbuck, and Starbuck launched it, and then so Starbuck is probably dead. Yay! And
Don't say that again.
Starbuck is dead.
I told you not to say that again.
So this is kind of picking up in the last. It's been a little bit. So the last one of these, the Nomen have escaped from the ship. The grid barge, and
The prison barge.
Prison barge, and they have gone and gotten on board the Battlestar Galactica, and they're taking over the bridge and taking hostages. Also, Apollo has shot Kane.
Whoa,
in the
hey.
chest.
What?
That was last week. That was our last episode.
Ugh.
So he shot Kane, and then now they believe that Apollo has lost his mind. But really, it is Iblis' influence. So he is under Iblis' influence, and he's taken off out of the, which is, this thing is so parallel to the book, it's not even funny. That we're, the book that we're doing, Armageddon. So, anyhow, this is where we're at, and we'll go ahead and kick off. This is, I'm looking, whoa, this is really freaky. Okay, there we go. You only knew I'm watching. If I move on one screen, the other screen delays, so it's kind of fun to watch. So anyways, this is Apollo. He has escaped, and he is running away from the fleet, and his wife is on patrol. So his wife is looking for him.
And who's his wife? Who's his wife?
Not Athena. That would be weird. Sheba. So Sheba is on patrol.
Okay.
And she is. She's like, they're gonna go get him, and they're like, well, he's lost his mind. They're gonna shoot him down. And she's like, despite everything I know, I can save Apollo. I have to try. He's still my husband. So then we go back to the board of the Galactica, and this is where the Nomen have taken prisoners. And there's Athena, and she's like, of course she spurns the Nomen on a little bit, saying, hey, where's your laser bowls? And they're like, the Nomen are like, you guys destroyed them 20 years ago. If I had them, I'd show you. So, but every time I read this, I can almost read it in the voice of the Nomen, if you know what I'm talking about. But your cowardly security force destroyed our laser bowls 20 yards ago when we were captured near the lunar moon of the planet Terra. So in this series, now if you remember the series, they did carry over in the comic book. They were recaptured in the comic book because in the series they escaped with the Eastern Alliance, if you remember correctly. So there they are there, taking over control of the Galactica, and of course they've had help, and that person who has helped them is Eebly. So I love these like I said, these speech bubbles where the Eebly talks. You can almost hear it in the voice. But he says, when Apollo shot Kane, both Battlestars were deprived of their commanders simultaneously. So Eebly is on the move, making all sorts of dastardly...
is he floating?
Plans. Yes.
Boy, he's floating.
In a pink power mist.
Jeez. He's floating. He's not even walking.
Yeah, I love the eyes here.
Yeah, he's got no pupils, just like all white.
So they've gotten hold of the Battlestars, and now what they're going to do is they're going to try to take over the pyramid. So in the first couple of comic books in this series and previous series of the same company, they have found Earth. They have this weird pyramid-looking thing. There is Adam and Eve, who are originally from the 13th colonies. And
there's dinosaurs there.
Yeah, there were dinosaurs there.
Yeah.
Which was kind of weird, I get it. So anyhow, that's how that is. So they have this pyramid that they're looking to go and try to take the Galactica back over, because the Galactica has been taken over by the Nomen. So he's like, he wants to keep that from happening. So now he has let all of the prisoners out on the surface, and they're attacking the pyramid. So there's the pyramid, and they're attacking, and there's like conquer New Eden City. So they have these prisoners and people that are under his control going to attack the pyramids. Meanwhile, back out in the atmosphere, Apollo is still running away, and it looks like Sheba and Boomer, I believe, are going to catch up with him. But suddenly he flies into this weird pink thing.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, it's like a Pepto-Bismol stomach upset thing. And they fly into that, and he can't get away from it, and it's like the people of light. So this is the people of dark, evidently. So this is Eebly. So he meets up with Eebly again, and this is, hi, I still have you under my control. We've only just begun. And of course, Sheba and them can't find him because he flew into the pink light. And now they don't know where he went. Meanwhile, the Battlestar has been taken over. So Kane has been shot, but they got him inside of a Viper. And Adam has got him out before the Nomen have taken over the entire ship. And of course, my favorite thing is do not return to the Galactica. Repeat, do not return to the Galactica. She is lost. So, meanwhile, we're back to Eebly and Apollo talking. And of course, Eebly's using his father. And so you cannot change the past, Apollo. Eebly's embodied his father, and of course Apollo is really messed up at that. And of course his father says it's so very lonely in here.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah. But so we're back to Adam's Ark, which is funny they call it that because that is the original name of the series. was Adam's Ark, if you remember.
Yep.
So they're back to the Adam's Ark. They've sequestered themselves inside the Ark to keep safe. And they've brought Cain in there, who's been shot in the chest by Apollo, who was under the influence of Ebli. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're a murderer. And of course, his wife just is just not forgiving him for that. I don't know why. I just, hey, you shoot your father-in-law, and everybody gets upset about it, I guess. So Eve is there, which Eve is not very well dressed, which is kind of interesting. So they're talking, yes, Father, what is it? And Cain's like, tell the guys in the Pegasus, because remember, the Pegasus is still there. So they've got the Galactica taken over. Now we're looking to do the Pegasus. So they have to get control of the Pegasus. And he's like moans. He says, tell Omega that execute attack pattern Cain Omega. So there's some kind of super secret thing going on there we don't know about. So hopefully we'll find out what that is. Back up, we still got the Apollo is still upset about his father. Really great picture here. And once again, I love these speech bubbles. It still looks like, you can hear the voice. And he's gone, Apollo, cast back to oblivion, back to where you put him. So he's making Apollo feel upset. He talks about how Apollo couldn't save the fleet from the Ares, which was in the last series. If you haven't seen that, check those out. Talks about how he shot Cain. Oh, isn't that a great picture? Let me zoom into that.
No, it's not.
That's awesome
disturbing.
right there. Shot him right in the chest. Oh, Apollo, you're just horrible, man. You. And of course, he says, then you're not able to save your beloved Serena. So there's another great shot. Look at that, right through the chest. Yep. That's a good shot. Cylons have good shots, unlike stormtroopers. So he's like talking about your fate. So he's really getting in Apollo's brain. So back to the Galactica, and we've got Boxy, and they're trying to get control of the Galactica again, and Cain, which is the son of Sheba and Apollo, clocks one of them in the head. And they're like, okay, so we're trying to take this over, but there's a lot of digital stuff going on, so it doesn't look like they're going to be able to keep control of the Galactica. Meanwhile, back on planet Earth, or New Eden, as they call it, the people are still trying to blast in to the pyramid, and they're starting to make way, and they're like, oh, we're not going to be able to hold them off for very long. And of course, the Ark has never failed us, is what we've got here, but it is starting to buckle underneath the onslaught. All right, back to the Galactica. We've got some Nomen information, and the Nomen are getting ready to execute their prisoners.
What?
Who happens to be the president of the colonies, and Athena, and everybody else. So, and of course, they're like, we have help, which is our beloved Ebli.
Yeah.
Back to the base star. Base star is, by your command, report Lucifer. So this is Baltar still in control a little bit, and this is where Baltar, once again, I have to be known for the person that takes down the Galactica. So he's been told to wait for the rest of the fleet to show up, and he's kind of arguing with Lucifer, and so this is intolerable. We have to go get them. I will not let an IL series, which is leading the attack, who happens to be Spectre Mark 8.
Dun dun dun. Mark 8.
Yeah. So Spectre Mark 8 is leading the attack, and he's like, that's not going to happen. So, all right, back to the the Apollo / Eblee talk, and he's like, "You will obey me. If you don't obey me, there is a fate, the slow and agonizing death." And then, of course, he reminds Apollo about the slow and agonizing death. Gotta love that purple light, man. That stuff's nasty.
Don't mess with that.
Yep. So here they are, still trying to break into the New Eden pyramid, and the intruder alarm has just been triggered. They're like, "Oh, somebody broke in." But how? They broke into the chamber where the Adam and Eve's sarcophagus was. They're like, nobody can get in there except us. And so they go check it out. That's a nice shot there. And they open up the door, and Apollo has appeared. And Apollo, in the last book, in number 1, he met up with Serena, in ghost form. So she was like a person of light, and she placed an amulet against his head, and now he sees things differently. So hopefully that is going to help him fight Count Eblee. But he comes in and he's like, "I need this amulet from you. I've got to have it." And we're kind of wondering at this point, is he still under Eblee's control, or is he trying to get a handle on his own anger and his loss and defeat Eblee with this amulet? So we'll have to figure it out. And then the last scene in this comic is they're getting ready to kill all of their prisoners, the Borrelian Nomen. So it's the President Ty, and the rest of the council there. And it says, "You shall be executed in accordance with the ritual code." I don't know if anybody else does that, but I can hear that in the code, the voice. And then, of course, this is not for we are Nomen, and then the Pegasus. I love the shoulder patch there. So now you know that this is the Pegasus, and they got the word from the Pegasus to the Pegasus to do the special whatever it is, and it says, may the Lords help us if we fail. The situation is worse than we can possibly imagine, and they're going to attack Pattern Cain Omega immediately. What does that mean? We don't know. You'll have to be continued.
Jeez.
Dun, dun,
okay. Dun, dun, dun.
Hopefully I didn't make you too sick with all that. So, and this has got some next issue. And this is all, by the way, Richard Hatch's storyline, which makes sense because this really is close to the book Armageddon. And then we've got, that's not a great one there. Journey's End. So, and that is number 2. We finally got number 2 done.
Finally, man. All right, cool. And that's going to bring us. Hey, Jeff, thanks for joining us. It's gonna then now it's basically gonna be time for us to start up the Epic Odyssey Reborn Battlestar Galactica Armageddon. Right, so that's where we're at, and we're chapter 11, guys. So for those of you that are following along, we're coming up on chapter 11. And where is Muffet? I don't know, man.
Muffet was on
Muffet
there.
was in. Yeah, he was in there.
He was in there.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was. Who was it?
He was with Cain.
The
boy
Cain Jr.
Yeah.
That clubbed one of the Nomen, right? Because
Yep.
Mediocre Modeler was like 3 Nomen take over the entire Battlestar, and a whole base star of Cylons.
Figure the Cylons could have done it by now.
Yeah, you think so? So so he clubs the Nomen, and next to him is Muffet. That's excellent. So Muffet is in this. No question. So chapter 11, guys, in the hard copy, the hardback, it's chapter 11 is page 127, and I know that in the paperback it's different. I think Chris has the paperback, so if he does, maybe he'll give us he'll let
I
us
don't
know
have it with
what.
me. I've been reading it offline.
Okay. All right. But I don't know if any of you guys have it and you're reading chapter 11, you can tell us where the paperback starts. Mine is the hardcover. It's page 127. And it's a good, the chapters are not that long. They're good in terms of story, character, everything moves along. I liked it. It's a good one. And Chris likes to do the recap. So I'm going to let him give us a quick recap on, what went on in the previous chapter, which is chapter 10. But I can tell you this one's got some really cool stuff. There's some very interesting developments, things that, you can't, some say that it's interesting or, well, it's good to know like where the story might be going, like if it becomes totally
Right.
alien or, if you can't see where it might go, that you're going to lose everybody. I'd rather be reading and not know where this is going to go. Right. So the surprises so far have been good. Characters come in and, it's fun. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Still missing
So,
my beat button for Ambassador
yes.
Puck.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. They made it. He's dastardly. He's like
Yes.
the
He's a
old
little bit more in
curmudgeon
this
hate,
one,
the
too,
guy you
so.
hate. You love to hate him, so that's good.
So this book started out with Adama dying,
Yeah.
power vacuum,
Yep.
the retake over of the Galactica with Apollo being in charge. Apollo seeing his father and getting telepathic abilities through a special room that was Kabolian in the
Yep.
Galactica. And Starbuck is stranded on a planet and alive. Everybody thought he was dead. This kind of
Yeah.
freaks me out because I think of the comic book, which is Starbuck is dead as well because he got sent to, ejected into a escape pod. So this kind of confuses me a little bit sometimes. So Pete, if I'm off, smack me back into the right spot because the comic book and the book are so parallel.
Yeah.
It's so weird. But once again, they're both Apollo stories. They're both Richard Hatch stories. So the power vacuum is there. They recommended that Apollo takes over the Galactica, that Ambassador Puck is upset, and he wants to take over the Galactica, and they are back and forth with different people, and they're like, well, what about Athena? She could take over. And they're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah, we never thought about that. So now, there's Athena, and then now Apollo's sitting in his special study, sees that Starbuck is still alive, goes and jumps on a Viper to go save Starbuck, and leaves the seat on the council and the Galactica commanding officer position over to Athena,
Yeah.
which I think she can definitely handle it.
Of course you would say that. But yes, I agree. I
I'm kind
concur.
of biased.
No, I concur. She's qualified.
She's very qualified.
Yeah.
And she's Kabolian, which is one of the other things. So in that case, so he takes off to go save Starbuck, and on the way, so far this part of the book I'm not very happy with.
Oh boy.
Last chapter, he runs across an alien that looks like a manta ray inside of a clear bubble-like substance ship, and it was attacked by super Cylons. That part I liked. Anyways,
Of course you would.
the super Cylons attacked him, and
Yeah.
he telepathically convinced them to go away. That
Yeah.
part I didn't like. And after they telepathically go away, this being is left bleeding, dying, and Apollo is on his way to go save his friend, and of course he stops to help out, which I don't buy that one as much as I should have. And then of course the Viper has got special capabilities. The new Scarlet Viper, he was able to dial down the laser cannons on the ship.
That's right.
Precisely seal the wound on the alien.
The alien ship.
The alien. Well, it's the alien. The alien is the ship.
Yes. We didn't. Yeah, you forgot to mention that. Yeah, the alien is the kind of like
so
the
it
ship.
Seals the wound with this special thing, and then they do a special thing where he sends Tylium out the back, or what is it? What's this fuel? I forget.
Yes, that's right. So they ignite it. He ignites half his fuel.
Bang! The guy is gone. Yay! Thanks. Now I got to go back to the Galactica because I don't have enough fuel to go save my buddy.
Right.
And then in the end of the last chapter was he got attacked by the new Super Cylons. Yes. And of course, he fires at the Super Cylons, and there's no effect because, unlike a Cylon, he's fallible. And he didn't remember to dial the power back up. Cylons wouldn't do a thing like that.
No, they would just die.
Yeah. No. Anyways, so that's kind of where that one left off. Last chapter. Did I miss anything, Pete?
No, I think that's pretty thorough.
That's a thorough.
Yeah.
You know, if you really want to know a better version of that, go back and watch our previous shows where we talk about this stuff.
Yes.
Chapter by chapter.
And this chapter now begins with none other than Major Boomer.
Yes.
And
like last chapter there was the murder too. I forgot to mention the murder.
The murder. So the murder's still going on. Okay, but that's big picture.
Yeah.
Right. So Major Boomer is on he flies to the Hephaestus for repairs, and so he lands, and the Hephaestus is where like this is the ship where they're making all the new Vipers, they're doing all the major repairs on stuff. So he's there, and he's like, okay, where can I go? Is there somewhere? He gets out of the Viper, and he asks one of the crew guys, hey, do you know where I can catch get a bite or something or drink? And they're like, yeah, go up to the second floor, and the second level, and you can look down on repairs and stuff, and there's like a bar up there. So he heads up there, and he notices that there's I think like around a dozen or so civilians, and like a whole bunch of black shirts, council security. He's like, why is there like
there's
5 or 6
something that we
of
need to explore more is the council security grouping.
It's like,
what's their
what's up
rank
with that?
Structure? Who do they report to? How do you become a security person? We get to
Well,
find out a little bit more of that in this chapter.
That's all part of. That's all. They're all part. They answer to the council, right? They are the security for the council. And you remember they wear those black uniforms and stuff, and so one of them comes over to Boomer, Major Boomer now, and says,
he knows him.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you remember me? You remember me? You failed me out of Colonial Warrior Academy, and Boomer turns around and it's like Paris, and he's like, oh, hey, you this
it's kind
and
of an
you that.
interesting name. Reminds me of Paris from Star Trek.
Oh yeah, that's right, Voyager.
Yep. Who was a failure as well.
Come on, relax.
He was.
Relax. You're like.
And that's how he got. He was in jail, and he got that.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was. He was busted down in rank. Mm-hmm. He was, and then
Sorry, I squirreled you.
Yes, but he actually, redeems himself. The Paris in the security force I don't know if he has any redeeming qualities. He's full of anger because he flunked out of the fleet's academy, and he's got it out for Boomer because Boomer flunked him, and so he brings it up, and he insults Boomer, and gets him to the point where Boomer's like, you're on the verge of sedition, and I'm gonna arrest you if you don't like back off, and Paris doesn't, and he's with all his buddies, and
but it's funny that they accuse Boomer of sedition.
Yes.
Because they're like, we wouldn't be here. We've been 20 years. We should have stopped on a planet by now.
Yeah.
If you guys weren't controlling everything that goes on.
Yep.
So that was, so he pushes that, and then he also calls he calls Adama a traitor.
Yep.
Which really kind of triggers him.
Yeah.
And then he also calls
major
Apollo.
Triggers,
Everybody has been, Puck, Ambassador Puck, has told everybody that Apollo is gone to tell the Cylons where they're at. So they believe, I don't know why anybody would believe Ambassador Puck.
Well, he's just a curmudgeon old guy that's looking for power for himself. He's another Sire Yuri, but
that's definitely a good combo. I mean, definitely a Sire Yuri type character.
Yeah, and so Boomer's like, he's had enough, and Paris like puts up his arm, and it's not clear if he's gonna strike him or what he's gonna do, and we find out that Boomer is the close quarter battle, right? The hand-to-hand instructor, right? And
he taught hand-to-hand at the academy.
Yeah, and he gives one shot to Paris's arm and breaks his arm.
Ooh.
Yeah. So all the five security guards that are there, they all start fighting with Boomer, and he's hitting them hard, right?
He's breaking stuff.
Yeah, he's breaking stuff, and but they distract him enough that Paris is able to steal Boomer's laser with his good hand, and so now they kind of turn the tables on, so Boomer was kind of like holding his own. They get the laser, he's pointing it at him, and he's like, so what do you think you're doing now, right? And it's so he says, all right, so you're like, there's like an exchange, so Boomer waits for it, and Paris pulls the trigger. Paris just wants to, he's going to kill him. Click. And unbeknownst to Paris, they've advanced enough that they've created personalized weapons. So the lasers will only fire, they're like Logan's Run Sandman, right?
Sandman pistols.
Yeah, so they only recognize the actual owner of the weapon. They won't fire for anybody else. So Boomer takes it back, and he says, all right, you guys are now, all of you are under arrest. And before he could take another step, Chris...
Well, I like this part. He says, you're all under arrest. Let's get everybody to the shuttle. And one of the security guys said, no, we can't go to the shuttle. And then, kaboom.
Yeah, there's a major explosion, and then that's it. Next thing you know, we're now looking and talking or listening to Cassiopeia,
right?
And
so before we get to this, I want to say, so there was a murder, and it was done by a laser gun, and I think in my opinion, we'll see if it plays out in the book. My opinion, the reason why they put this part in here where the person who is coded to the gun can pull the trigger, I think that might be foreshadowing a little information in regards to the murder. So now, that's my opinion. We'll see what happens.
Okay, all right, but then like I said, so now we're talking about Cassiopeia. All right, this is where this next scene is. Cassiopeia and Athena, right? So Athena's coming, and she shows up. So, there's a little bit of Cassiopeia, and you can fill us in on that, but I was more focused on the fact that Athena shows up to give her some news. Like, Athena's going to tell her, like, everything has been going on, and there's a lot. And Cassiopeia notices that Athena is wearing her blue
and white.
her blue uniform,
Blue
right?
white.
And the bridge uniform with white. So when I read that first, I was like, what? But then we find out that it's like the robes that the council wears.
Right.
Because Athena has not only been appointed as the interim commander of the Battlestar Galactica, but she's actually been elected to the council, to the quorum, taking up her father's former position. And it doesn't matter whether or not Ambassador Puck opposes it, because she won by a majority. So she's on the council now. So that's why she's wearing the
I think what
white.
they said, though, is ambassador. She's like, well, what did Ambassador Puck? I have to make sure I say it, Puck. Think of that. And Athena's like, he doesn't know yet.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And so now Athena asks, Cassiopeia about the corpse. And because Cassiopeia is trying to do like a genetic test on it, like do like a DNA thing on it.
Yeah.
And she's not having any luck on it.
Yeah, this is another mystery.
Yeah.
This is and she says I've tested, so it's got to be your equipment. It's got to be something, it can't be this. And Cassie's like, I've tested it. I've tested it on dead people. I've tested it on live people. Everything worked.
Yeah.
This person kind of doesn't exist, which gives us a new mystery.
But she runs the sample. She takes a fresh sample, she runs it, and instead of getting the sequences, she gets like this whole other set of data that comes up. Like the computer can't even read what it is that it's trying to analyze. So it's like bizarre. Like as far as I'm concerned, it's like that's not possible. Athena's like, does it need recalibration? And Cassiopeia is like, no, I did like 6 samples or more. Everything came back right. It works. It's fine. I just had it calibrated. But the second time now that I'm doing the sample from the corpse, it's not registering the genetic code, the DNA. It's just crazy. So that's where we kind of leave off on with that scene. And now we're going to go somewhere where the Tipsy Toaster is going to be very happy to narrate.
That's right.
For obvious reasons.
This my Daggett would lay down. You might hear my Daggett in the background. Sorry. Lay down.
Tick, 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 tick. I can hear it. I can hear it. Tick, 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 tick. It's like marching around for you.
She's 15 years old and she's deaf, so you can yell at her all you want. She doesn't hear you.
Oh boy!
Kind of like a wife.
Okay. You gotta wave. Gotta wave your hand. Gotta wave.
That waving. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Blind too.
She doesn't hear anything. Anyways, so we now transport back into the base star. Now.
Yeah.
Previously in the base star. Previously on an episode.
Previously.
You always see that. What show is that? Previously on something.
That's almost all of them back in the day.
Yeah, back in the 70s. Anyways, previously on the episode of Armageddon, the Baltar has been kicked to the curb by the Imperious leader, and Lucifer has been put in charge.
Command. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm okay with that because I like Lucifer. And Baltar was, and so he has been trying to see Lucifer for a long time, and Lucifer just kind of ignoring him and really kind of digging at him. But Iblis has came and talked to Baltar and says, I know where the fleet is. I'm going to help you find them. You need
Yep.
to, here's the information. Go tell them. Maybe they'll get you back in your good graces. And, he wants to. Eblee has got that, and of course, Eblee is kind of convinced Baltar that they're related.
Yes, that's right.
Like,
that's
wow.
Right. What the heck?
So they're back. So in this chapter, he finally gets to talk. Last chapter, he finally gets to talk with Lucifer. He walks in and he says, Baltar, what do you think of your children? And there's these super Cylons. Yes, more super Cylons. And they're surrounding him, and and Baltar's kind of confused. But in this chapter, we get a little bit more of the super Cylon information.
Yep.
These new Cylons. Ouch. Sorry. So they're, what do you think of your children? Lucifer said. Lucifer brings him into the thing finally. He says, "What do you think of your children?" And Baltar's like, "I don't want to approach these people," but then he's like, "Well, they're not going to kill me because Lucifer won't let them kill me." But he gets closer to him and he's like, "Why do you keep calling them my children?" And come to find out, they got a brain created for them from Baltar. So Baltar's brains are inside these.
Human logic function.
Yes.
And a human logic function is a new parameter that's been created and modeled after Baltar's brain and his thought patterns, I guess. So
I love Baltar stared in horror at the creatures.
Yes.
His secret advantage forgotten for the moment.
Yes.
Do you say these vile mechanoid creatures have minds modeled after my very own? And then, of course, Lucifer replied, "You didn't actually believe the imperious leader allowed you to live because you were a great warrior." And then he's like, "Oh, you did believe that."
And then
the best part of this, "Oh, I see that you did believe that." Says, "Without pity, poor fool. Centurions, execute Baltar. We shall suffer the presence of humans no longer."
No longer. See ya.
Dun, dun, dun. Now we have to wait till chapter 12 to find out what happens.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Oh, you know what's going to happen. Come on, he's got this. He's got the information.
He's got the info.
Save his skin.
Yeah,
again.
He's got the info.
They're not going to chop his head off like the original Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. So that's it. That's where we're at. We'll find out, of course, Baltar is not going to get his head chopped off. And,
just like, Starbuck will never die.
Starbuck's not going to die. Although in the comic books, Apollo does.
But he comes back.
He does. That's something. Well, Lola says I know. Okay, so guys, that's where we're at. Next show is with Mr. James Morrison. Suggest that you look him up online. Go onto the interwebs.
I'll pull him up real quick while we're talking.
And look up he's done so many things. Really, really cool. But like I told you earlier, one of my favorite characters that he portrayed was Colonel McQueen, and in Space Above and Beyond, in terms of military sci-fi, which is really cool stuff. And
I think Dad gets excited too.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm excited too. So, John 1, thank you for hooking us up with Mr. James Morrison. We'll be reaching out and setting up any of the details. There's always some details here and there, but he's coming on next show, and we're looking forward to having him. And that's I think you're looking at his IMDb filmography. Yeah.
There he is. So
there he is.
You don't recognize him. He is in a number of shows.
Oh yeah, he's done a lot of stuff.
He's got a lot of different one-offs.
Twin Peaks.
2019,
cool.
Twin Peaks, NCIS, Major Crimes, The Orville, believe it or not, Twin Peaks, Pray for Rain.
Oh, see Captain Marvel? I saw him. I recognized him. He has an uncredited cameo in that, and I recognized him. I was like, geez, I think that's Colonel McQueen.
Yep, Brooklyn
So, yeah.
Nine-Nine, all these
Castle.
different ones. Castle, Revenge, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Charlie's Angels, 2011.
Cool.
But he goes all the way back. Mentalist, 24.
Suits.
He was on 64 episodes.
Wow.
24.
Yeah.
Cold
I mean,
Case,
we're just
West
scrolling.
Wing, Jag. We're getting back in the longer and longer.
I mean, yeah, he's done so many,
He's
6 feet
on-
under.
He's never stopped working.
Right. He's
There's
done a
Space
lot.
Above and Beyond
Profiler,
from 95
Prey.
to 96.
I mean, so
White
he's done
Dwarf.
so many. Yeah, you look, Frasier,
Yep.
White Dwarf. Oh, man. Okay.
Yep. Automan.
L.A. Law,
I didn't know that.
Werewolf.
Automan.
I mean, the guy's been on all kinds of stuff. He's got director credits, producer credits, writing credits, soundtrack.
Yep.
I mean, he's done a lot of stuff, and we're lucky that we got him coming on the show. Hopefully he's going to enlighten us with, a lot of, what he's done as well as what he's doing, and, the future as well. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. It's a cool dude. He's very, very talented. I know that I've read a little bit on his background, and so we'll have a cool conversation, and find out all about him. Cool.
Find out
Yeah,
what he's up to.
Colonel-
There's got some new stuff coming out
yeah.
as well.
So we're looking forward to that. So guys,
There's
listen,
his
thank you
picture right
very,
there.
very much for
Colonel
tuning
McQueen.
in. Right, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we are looking forward to having you on our next show. Remember that the conventions are coming up, and we'll be there, and looking forward to see if we can all meet up. I know that Awesome Con with the panel and all. I know that a lot of the guys will be there. Mr. Gaudreau will be there, and the Colonial Military Defense Council. Is that?
CMOD.
Did I say that correct? But-
Colonial, CMOD. Colonial.
Okay.
Oh
Colonial
my gosh. I just looked at it. the other day.
Ministry.
Ministry of Defense.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
be there. Yeah.
We look really
And so
forward
we-
to seeing
we-
them. We're going to probably try to do a dinner with them.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely do a dinner with them. So we're gonna, because George Zuvalos will be staying over. So Friday night we're gonna definitely do dinner. So looking forward to that. And thank you for tuning in, guys. We love having you on board. Keep clicking the thumbs up, and don't forget to tell your friends about our show. If you want to contact us, the email. It's info@interfleetbroadcasting.com. Stay safe. See you next show. And, of course, keep the faith. Remember our motto. And thank you for everybody else that was, guys that are on live. And thank everybody. I'm thanking everybody now that are watching this in rerun when we put it up. Wherever you may be, around the world, everywhere, all our fans all over the place, and supporters and listeners, thanks so much. We really love having you on and sharing our love of science fiction and fantasy and comic books and everything else with you guys. Chris?
Yep. So thank you for joining us again. Remember, you make the fandom. Nobody else does that. No actors make the fandom. No directors make a fandom. No writers make a fandom. You make the fandom. The fans do the fandom. So we always like to say, thank you for joining us. And remember, fans fuel the fleet. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody. Stay safe.